how am I planning for 2026? So here's my philosophy on planning. How am I planning for 2026? A lot of people, what happens is December rolls around, especially the Christmas time of the year, or just before Christmas, just after. They're like, you know what, next year I'm gonna make 100 grand a year at work. Next year I'm gonna lose 5 kilograms of weight. Next year I'm gonna do this. But what if they did this? What if they did all of, and I'm actually guilty, I haven't done all of this year, and I usually do, I've been doing this for 5 years, the planning style of what I'm gonna say, but Patrick Bet-David and a few others taught me this. You should plan like 2 months before the end of the year. So then what happens, December is your trial month of the new year. So for me, essentially, and again, I've done this better in other years, December is like January 2026. So by the time January 2026 actually comes around, I've already had a practice run of what works, what doesn't work, what I want to keep, what I want to cut. So the time I'm in January, it's like, okay, I've already got momentum. The gyms are emptier in December. People are lazier. It's harder to get people on the phone. It's the 13th of December, and I guess I shouldn't be complaining, but I'm still a bit pissed off about this. But my company has already closed deals of 6 or 7 deals this month, or 5 to 7 deals this month, and majority of it was in the first 9 days of December. I'll be a bit pissed off if we don't get 20 deals closed. 20 new deals, just to be clear, on top of our existing base. The reason is because I need my team to understand. It can, and this is my psychology, this is not for everyone. Even if it's the 23rd of December, 24th of December, 30th of December, I'm always looking for a way to create distance from everyone else. Because what will happen is, say I just get 20 deals closed in January or in December, boohoo. Because I went so hard in December, and if anything, I treated that like January, like full offense. By the time January 2026 actually comes around, I've got so much leverage, I might F around and close 30, 40 new deals in January because of all the pent-up demand I have from the month I had for practice. So that's how I plan. The specifics of what I do, and if you want to learn more about how to plan, comment on this video, plan, and my team will reach out to you. But I look at a few different things. I don't just plan with like the standard old, I did this good, I did this bad. I really look at, okay, what are my patterns multi-year? What times of the year do I tend to make the most money? What times of the year do I tend to have the best sleeping regimen? What times of the year do I get, and I track all these things. And then I try to find the patterns so I can slightly shift a pattern in the coming year. Let me give an example. Historically, I'll make the most money nearly out of the last 4 or 5 years in Q4. So in Q2, technically, between October to December. That's usually when I'll make the most money, right? And that's been when I had a job. That's been when I was an entrepreneur. For whatever reason, Q4, which is end of the year, October, so Q2. So I was only able to find that out because when I was documenting my patterns, I was able to collate them in a Google Drive folder over a multitude of areas. So I have one where I'm looking at my patterns for the last 4 or 5 years when it comes to money. I have patterns for health. Guys, I even have patterns for relationships. How crazy is that? There tends to be times of the year, you guys that are watching, that you might even tend to get in relationships or tend to, be single. And these things are very, very interesting because, habits die hard. But if you can re-engineer new habits, you are now in control and you can now create new outputs. But unless you master your habits, it's very, very hard to get new outputs that you want. For example, this year, this is the first year I've ever experienced this in business. From March till now December, we have grown every single month. Now, to many of you guys, that sounds really exciting, like it's really cool. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I'm someone that deals pretty well with stress, I'd like to think. There was times, just being really honest, this is me being transparent, where between April and May, like I had one incident where I was showering and I had a gym workout in the morning. And like my right arm got like tense. I was like, oh, I just had a really intense chest workout. I didn't eat much. I was a bit dehydrated. Guys, and it wasn't as bad as what I'm about to say, so it's all good. I've checked myself, I'm all good. I thought I had a heart attack. And what happened was I get in the car because I start looking at ChatGPT. I'm like, okay, hold on. My right arm is going numb. Like, what's going on? And ChatGPT is like, you're probably fine because of your age and because of how healthy you are, because I eat pretty good and I exercise a lot, but go to the hospital just in case. And ChatGPT is going to be wrong sometimes. So I drive myself with my left hand to the hospital, and I call my mother, and I'm like, Mom, don't freak out. She's like, Dad, what's going on? I was like, I think I'm having a potential heart attack. This is early this year. And she's like, oh my God. And she's like, Dad, you can't. I drive there, I go to the hospital, I tell them what happened. We ended up solving it. It had a rare musculoskeletal thing. Nothing to do with my heart. My heart's extremely healthy. I'm all good on that department. My sleep's fine, I'm all good. I've been tracking that. I just had a rare musculoskeletal thing that needed to be solved in that time and moment. But I still tracked that. So when I'm finishing my review for 2026, for 2025, things like that, I'm gonna notice, was there any time of the year when I historically have had some sort of health scare? Was there any time of the year when I had some sort of muscular pain? Was there a certain intensity in the gym that maybe I was doing between March and April, historically, that's led to that incident? Interesting, patterns. So when it comes to planning for 2026, your patterns is what you want to master, not the goal. The goal is a consequence of the patterns that you master. And, I would love to have an even better year next year, because historically speaking, if we just grow at the rate we grew at this year into 2026, worst case scenario, we'll be doing $500,000 a month by December 2026. By the way, this is not my opinion. This is not my emotion. This is just the data, patterns from Stripe, the payment platform. Obviously, we want to aim for more than that by the end of next year. By the way, boo-hoo if I got to $500,000 a month at 27, right? But again, if you notice, the emotionality is in the delivery, not in the statistics. The statistics come from what you track in your patterns before 2026.